recipe for chickpea burgers.
Yeah.
And it just looked delicious. Like, I don't know what it was that caught my eye, and I've gone back to it a couple times. I'm gonna get the stuff this week to make them, and I know my little one, who's become pretty adventurous in eating. I'm pretty proud of that. She'll probably be like, great. Then the older one's gonna be like, nope. But we'll be having those, and that's what I'll be, just to try something different.
Will you then? So for the older one, then will you give her a different option?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. There's no reason to. I don't have any. There's no medical reason. There's no dietary reason. There's no, then breakfast is in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's tricky. For younger kids, when the parents bring them in, they're worried about their protein intake. That's real tricky when you get a parent, and it's good that you're not worried. You know she's fine. She's gonna eat in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm in a different place than someone that is worried about the development of their kids.
Yeah.
So that's a whole separate issue.
It is.
So, yeah.
We could do like 3 more episodes on that.
Yeah.
But staying on topic, in terms of vegetarian diet, I was gonna tell you, which I kind of mentioned to you in the past, but so I did kind of dabble on and off with this thought of being vegetarian for many years, and I was interested in nutrition, obviously.
There you go.
The day I arrived at college and my parents dropped me off at the dorm, I was like, bye-bye, and now I'm a vegetarian.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because they weren't there to monitor it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
And how long did that last?
3 years.
Oh, wow. And then after 3 years, what made you go back to eating meat?
My husband.
Okay. And what was, did he?
He's a, blue-collar Chicago meat and potato kid.
Yeah, that's how we grew up. Yeah.
And he was a picky eater, and there weren't a lot of food options, and I was deeply studying nutrition and planning to be a dietitian, and I wanted us to eat together. I wanted to prepare one meal, and I decided that eating meat for me was a smaller battle than trying to get him to be a vegetarian with me.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah. Is it worth the fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that point in my studies, I was deep enough into nutrition to know that there were healthy animal protein options that I could accept.
Okay. Yeah.
But the first time he came over to my parents' house for dinner, my parents were so excited I was going to eat meat.
What did they make?
So they made ribs. Do you know what it feels like to eat ribs after 3 years of not eating meat?
I'm gonna guess like a piece of cement in the pit of your stomach, maybe?
Maybe at the moment, and then the next day,
Not good.
does not feel like cement anymore.
No, not good. Oh, jeez. Right, I mean, it's,
Then it feels like wet cement.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ugly.
Sure.
Um,
You're like, are you happy now?
I was in college, I was in my 20s, I didn't say anything to him about that. That wasn't sexy.
No. No.
Yeah, and that's another issue altogether, talking about like these digestive things with some of these dietary changes teenagers do.
Yeah.
Which is kind of where the video I'm referring to is going. But anyway, we're staying on topic still. So I did start eating meat again, and I have since then. And I like meat, I like the taste of it, but I could easily be a vegetarian.
Okay. I don't think I could.
No.
I love it. But I also, same as your husband, south side meat and potatoes on the plate,
Yeah.
was no vegetarian conversation in
No.
my house growing up.
No.
And I certainly, I'm sure if I decided, I could put my mind to anything I decide, but I think I like it enough that, I wouldn't do that, but I also know what good options are.
Mm-hmm.
So, and try to make as much from, whole pieces of meat as much as possible.
You're not a chicken nugget lady.
No.
Particle chicken.
Article chicken, no, don't buy chicken nuggets.
I never have.
Nope, me neither. Nope. Buy a rotisserie chicken, cut it up.
Mhm.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, just trying to make sure that you're not getting just parts and pieces of things, but you're getting you
Mhm.
know, a whole piece
Yeah.
of something.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we haven't really talked about vegan, which is kind of, we're not saying anything today that can't be vegan. You can certainly use plant proteins and avoid the dairy and the meat proteins.
Right.
Vegan diets are much harder to balance for kids and teenagers, especially the picky eaters. Much harder.
Sure. You really gotta work hard to get your nutrients in for that growth and development.
Right.
Yeah.
Because iron and zinc, primarily found rich sources in animal proteins, are really something that you need as a vegan kid to have good growth. You have to find intentionally alternate sources of that,
Okay.
and the vitamin B12.
Okay. Which you're not gonna find in a vegan diet, so you really gotta
Correct.
pay attention to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I've seen kids whose families are vegan and they're well educated and they know what they're doing and they're just lovely and doing a great job. But I've also had kids come in here. I had a girl in here last winter and she said, her mom brought her in, she was 13, she said, I decided I'm gonna be a vegan. And I said, why? And she said, because I love Billie Eilish.
Okay.
And she's a vegan.
Okay.
And I said, well, show me your food records.
Did she have Billie Eilish's food records too?
She sure didn't.
Okay.
I can't remember specifically, but
I
I think.
love Billie Eilish too. I don't wanna be vegan.
No,
Just
but
personal.
this kid, like, breakfast was like toast. And lunch was like noodles. And dinner was like those fake, they call them chicken, but it's not the CK, whatever, chicken
Oh, yeah.
things,
Mm-hmm.
Picardine. There were no fruits, there were no vegetables, there were no plant proteins other than that fake chicken.
Right.
There was no sources of calcium. There was nothing. That kid was on the road for malnutrition in a short amount of
I
time.
was gonna say, that would go real quick.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
mom was kind of freaking out.
Okay, so after the conversation,
So we went through that protein list I was telling you about.
yeah,
And I said, and her mom, she's young. She wasn't a high school kid. She was a middle schooler.
Okay.
So parents still kind of had a little bit of say.
Sure.
And so we said to her, if you're going to be a vegan, we will allow it if you do it right and take good care of your health. And we did some meal planning and went through the proteins, and her mom and I presented this to her and said, we're going to give you a month to show us that you're doing this and you're doing it well and you're taking your supplements and for the B12 and that you're eating an appropriate diet, and we'll come back in a month and see Betsy again with more food records, make sure we're on track.
Okay.
And if you're doing a great job, we will let you do it. And if you're not, it is not allowed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She came back in a month. She was eating milk and yogurt.
Yeah. Okay. She probably saw some big changes
Mm-hmm.
in her body.
Right.
You know, I mean, food and wellness are related.
Mm-hmm.
There's no denying it.
Right.
Food and wellness are related. If you take good care of your body with food, you will actually be well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, vegetarian then?
Yeah, so she's vegetarian.
Okay. But she was getting more protein then
Mm-hmm.
through some milk products.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least maybe she recognized, or her family recognized, that this was not going well, and
Yeah.
you know, the last thing you want to do is put your kid down a path where you can actually change it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And maybe she'll get older and her tastes will change and she'll be more open to more plant-based proteins and she can try again. But
Right.
at this point in life, this girl was not not able to do it at
Yeah.
this time. No judgment.
No, I just think that absolutely no judgment, but the reasoning behind it is, that's great that Billie Eilish is vegan.
Mhm.
Maybe that for you and your body doesn't work. So.
Right. And then here's just another little anecdote, and then I'm going to probably suggest we wrap up because I'm going on too long about this. But
Okay.
And then in another family who I used to work with, the mom was vegan, and she had a baby. It was her first baby, and she wanted him to be vegan, understandably. But mom was a young mom, and she wasn't quite as extreme as this girl I'm talking about in terms of just eating pasta, but she wasn't really doing vegan well. Let's just put it that way.
Sure.
And so I got pulled into the situation with her child through early intervention because he wasn't growing
Oh, right.
height-wise.
Sure.
He simply wasn't getting enough protein and minerals. So I provided her with some education and tried to get her on a healthier path within the vegan preferences. And she would kind of get halfway there, and then it would get hard, and she would slip back into the pasta diet.
Yeah.
And so this kid, too, we did get him on a plant-based milk and some vitamins, and his growth would get better. But you could see when life got stressful and she wasn't meal planning and things were tough, that she would slip, and then his growth would slip.
Sure.
It was a battle. And it was good that she had early intervention, because I was in there once or twice a month reminding her, we need to stay on this. This is
Right.
important. He needs this. But again, she was a young mom. He had other medical issues.
Okay.
And she would get stressed and go back to work and have a lot going on, and it would slide. And it's concerning because not everybody has a dietitian coming to their house once a month and helping them and reminding them.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes what might be good for you or what you think is good for you might not be good for a growing and developing child.
Right.
So
Exactly. But it was hard for her. Like, even I suggested at one point, can we maybe, because his growth had gotten really bad. I think he hadn't grown. This is a 2-year-old. I don't think he had grown a centimeter in like 8 months.
a centimeter?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I said, can we maybe, how would you feel about just giving him a yogurt once a day? And for her, because it was an ethical thing,
Okay.
she could not. She felt so bad about giving that to her child that she couldn't do it. Or I should say wouldn't.
Yeah. Wow.
It was challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever wonder, like, patients that you, obviously after early intervention, you may not be following? Do you ever wonder?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Sure. This past week, there's some various Facebook groups that I'm involved in with families with medically complex kids and EI therapists. And this past week, I found out from Facebook that one of them had passed away.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a real good.
And that happens.
It happens, yes. Absolutely. And it's so complex that. Yeah. But, to bring it back to kind of what we're talking about right now, just, if you are looking at a vegetarian diet, if you are currently vegetarian and you are, you've got young kids and you want them to be on this path, or they're older and they're thinking about this, you really want to do it right.
Correct.
So in a couple weeks, Betsy's new website is going to be up for Feed to Succeed. I would highly recommend taking a look at that. And then there's going to be some videos linked to what she originally talked about with the IBS,
Right.
IBS and a vegetarian diet. But just thinking about that planning is so important. I think meal planning in any way for whatever kind of diet you're on is really important, and a good path to wellness, but especially because you want to make sure that you're actually, especially for children, in that growth and development stage.
Right, exactly.
That can be stunted quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Think about all the growth and development that comes on in the first 2 years of life.
Right.
So
Right.
With that, should
Yeah,
we wrap up?
We should.
Okay.
Yikes. Sorry, I keep bumping stuff. Ah! So.
We're a hot mess right now.
So, just disclaimer is that we're so popular and people want us so badly that we're not only posting this audio-wise, but we're also posting on YouTube video, and I just knocked the camera over, so if you're listening, you don't know why I'm laughing, but if you're watching this on YouTube, and you're now currently looking at some cords on a desk,
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, and this video was in 2 chunks because the phone rang and it paused it. And, you know, I mean, we're trying.
We're trying. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, this might make the cutting room floor. We don't know. But
Yeah.
okay.
Anyway,
Thanks
so
for joining us
thank
today.
you for joining us very much.
And if you are enjoying this podcast, please rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And then also follow us on social media at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and the new website of Feed to Succeed is coming out in a couple weeks.
It is feedtosucceed.com. I hope you are able to join our new community there.
Awesome.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.